Welcome back to 101 East. This week we're looking at how China is using land reform to balance social cohesion and economic development. Here's more from Steve Nettleton.
In recent years, China has been synonymous with explosive economic growth. Its GDP has ballooned to more than 14 times what it was 20 years ago, making China the third largest economy in the world. But this development has also exacted a price on the countryside. Since 1996, China has lost more than 8 million hectares of arable land, bringing it dangerously close to slipping below the government's declared target of 120 million hectares needed to feed the country. And while China's urban middle class has blossomed, many rural Chinese feel the boom has left them behind, or in some cases, even cost them their livelihood. At least 70 million farmers are estimated to have lost their land in the past decade. Some agreed to compensation terms with local governments. Some lost their land through violence. In 2005, hundreds of farmers from Shengyou village, less than 200 kilometers southwest of Beijing in Hebei province, set up a squatter camp to prevent the taking of their land for the construction of a power plant. Confrontation with police and local authorities had been brewing for months. Then, on June 11, 200 men armed with clubs, scythes, and hunting rifles launched an assault on the camp. The farmer who shot this video suffered a stab wound to his hip and a broken arm. 6 farmers and 1 attacker were killed, and about 50 people injured. The local party chief was sentenced to life in prison for his role in hiring the attackers to clear the disputed land. Such extreme violence is rare. Activists say more often, land is taken through flouting the legal system.
In some places, the requisition follows the law with reasonable compensation. But China is a one-party state with no news freedom, no freedom of speech. There are laws, but they are ineffective. So corrupt officials from different levels cheat land from farmers by force or trickery.
Villagers outside Nan'an City are facing such a struggle. They're waging a campaign against city officials to stop the seizure of an orchard of longan trees and bayberry that provided their source of income. Nan'an, in southern Fujian province, is part of a broad stretch of territory designated the west shore of the Taiwan Strait. The city government hopes to capitalize on a recent development boom in the region, especially as economic ties to Taiwan grow stronger. From 2003 to 2006, the government took 13 hectares of orchard from XIAMEI town, leveled the trees, and opened the land to bids for development. So far, few have come.
We worked so hard in planting the fruit trees, yet we did not receive a cent. The value of what we lost is $1.5 million, for there were nearly 30,000 trees. I'm not against development. It should be supported. But they are not developing. They are just speculating in real estate.
CHEN PINGSHENG and other villagers are publishing a magazine detailing their plight, in hopes of finding support from higher levels of government. But going from the experience of others, their chance of success is small.
They don't care about farmers' lives at all. There are many policies from the central government which could benefit farmers, but the local officials are out of control. It's impossible to expect Prime Minister Wen Jiabao or President Hu Jintao to come investigate in Nan'an. Local officials just say the sky is high and the emperor is far away.
China in name is a country ruled by law, but actually it's a country of policemen. Administrative affairs should be resolved through administrative means, but in China, they're resolved by police. Even when farmers protect their land according to the law, the police are mobilized to suppress, beat, detain, and arrest farmers. This has encouraged local governments to become more rampant in misconduct, ignoring the law, and bullying the common people. Who should they be afraid of since they have armed police, prison, and handcuffs?
Liu Zhengyou is one of China's leading voices for those who have lost their land. He works to represent farmers and others who say they've been abused, investigating their claims, raising awareness in the media, and filing petitions in court.
I think all Chinese citizens with conscience and a sense of justice should stand up and speak out for the disadvantaged in protecting their rights. Now we face a powerful state apparatus, which is like a grinder to us. We should keep recording their sins. Eventually they will stand before the tribunal of history. For now we can do nothing but keep the record as evidence.
In his hometown of Zigong in Sichuan province, Liu says more than 50,000 farmers have lost their property. He has turned a tea house terrace into what he calls an unofficial petition office to listen to their stories. One who has sought his help is SHOULIN. She says the government cheated her out of her suburban land, destroying her small hotel and restaurant.
We thought the compensation by the government was too low. We refused to sign any contract with them, so they sent the police and took everything from us. They sent gangsters to follow us and watch us. They accused us of being bad people. They said we were Falun Gong. We are just poor people. Why do they want to ruin us?
Liu says it is cases like CHEN's that demand a change in Chinese rural land policy.
I firmly believe that in the near future, land ownership will be returned to farmers. Most people have been awakened. They keep on struggling. As long as they don't give up, eventually they will get back land ownership. I have confidence.
You have more than 30% of the rural population of world in China. You only have 7% of land. And then you allow them to free market your land. So you may have more than 20% of the rural people lost land to be landless rural people. And then there must be big chaos. And then there must be secondary land erosion. And then thousands of people will die.
Wen Tiejun believes rural communities need empowerment, not privatization. As the head of the School of Agriculture at one of China's top universities, he has a role in helping shape government policy. Wen has worked to set up cooperatives in more than 50 villages across China, where local residents work together to run small and medium enterprises.
We are trying to initiate innovation, not revolution. Innovation means that gradually change the system, help people organize themselves, and then empower themselves.
That's what happened over 20 years ago in the village of Zhengezhuang on the outskirts of Beijing. Li Yongquan and a group of other farmers decided to begin a construction business and pooled together nearly $15,000 to buy equipment.
Before reform and opening up, we mainly focused on farming our land. Later, after several rounds of discussions, we decided to take an active role in becoming rich.
The construction work turned a profit, and the company gradually bloomed into a massive business empire. It is now a major corporation worth more than $8 billion US, with 50 subsidiaries managing construction, real estate, manufacturing, tourism, and education. The Hongfu Group, as it is named, has transformed Zhengezhuang into a business and residential park, with traditional shopping streets, hotels, and even a water park.
Our village does not have the problem of losing land. It's collective ownership, with the rights of belonging to each family. The profits go back to the villagers. It's not like other places where land has been sold to developers and farmers lost both their work and profit.
Yet demands for greater control over land are growing louder. Of the nearly 100,000 peasant disturbances that erupt each year in China, as many as half stem from land disputes.
For now, farmers mostly care about the short term and fight for their own interests. But when it becomes irreversible, with more and more land seized, exploited and persecuted farmers will have a deep understanding of the root of all the problems of one-party dictatorship. Then there will be a greater awakening. There will be communication among them and a united movement.
If you want to develop, you still need farmers, and farmers need to be motivated to farm well. I believe if the country wants to get rich, attention must be focused on farmers. Otherwise, if no farmers remain on the land, our country's development will immediately stop.
The peasantry that stood as the vanguard of a revolution may yet decide China's future.
That's all the time we have. From the 101 East team, thanks for watching.